NoSkips here with my review for Enemy. Enemy from 2013 stars Jake Gyllenhaal and is directed by Denis Villeneuve. And no, I definitely did not look up a YouTube video for how to pronounce the director's name.
Denis Villeneuve. Denis.
Denis Villeneuve is known for directing other movies such as Arrival, Blade Runner 2049, Prisoners, and Sicario. I've actually seen all of those movies except for Prisoners, which I plan to see pretty soon. So Enemy is about a guy who works as a history teacher who finds another guy that looks almost exactly like him. And that's about all I can say about this movie without going into major spoilers. When I first heard of Enemy, I heard it described as a thriller, and I don't really think that's accurate. I feel like Enemy is more of a slow burn, cerebral film that's maybe closer to horror than thriller. Very metaphorical in nature. It's going to take a lot out of the viewer to get the most out of it. I think the more thought that you put into this movie, the more you'll get back out. But it is one of those movies that sort of requires you to get it, to really get the most out of it. Without that understanding, you're just going to be kind of confused. But I think that over the course of the movie, it does a good job of letting you know what the story is really about. It's really more about the feeling that this movie gives you rather than the plot or what actually happens. That is essential to know if you're actually going to enjoy this movie. If you watch this expecting a traditional thriller, I think you'd be very disappointed. And if you go into this expecting a traditional horror film, I would really just say that there are horror elements that lead the film to become more disturbing as it goes on. It's really about the mood, it's about the feelings that the characters are having and what you're feeling as a viewer. So I can't really say a lot of things plot-wise, but I can say that the performances by the lead actresses and Jake Gyllenhaal are very well done. I think Jake Gyllenhaal in particular does a fantastic job in the lead role. You see him go through a lot of different moods and phases, and the lead women in the movie are also played very well in their respective roles. Overall, I feel like I felt about this movie like I would a lot of sort of artsier, slower burn, disturbing films that are in the horror genre, which is I can appreciate what the film did to disturb me successfully. I think it did a great job at getting in my head. But because it is one of those slower burn movies, I felt that some scenes were kind of losing my interest a little bit, where there wasn't a lot actually happening, where it might just be shots of a room or shots of a wall. When you don't really see what's going on inside the characters' heads, it can be a little slower. You're just sort of waiting for things to happen in the movie. So if you can sit through this, I think you're going to enjoy a lot out of it. And the more that I thought about the movie, the more I found to appreciate. I watched this film with my brother, and I found myself talking to him for like 20 minutes after the movie was over about the themes of the movie, what it was really about. But after that, I felt like I sort of got what the movie wanted me to get, and there wasn't really much more to unpack. I don't have a strong desire to rewatch Enemy. After I finished Denis Villeneuve's other movies, I really felt like I could easily rewatch them. And this movie, I feel like I got the themes the first time watching it, and I would notice more things on a second time, and I might like the movie more on a second watch, but I don't really have a strong desire to go back and do it again. It could just be because this is a slower paced movie. It didn't really hold my interest the entire time, but it was very fascinating to think about. I enjoyed the metaphorical structure of the movie. I liked breaking down for myself what it was really about. But because of those things, it can be a harder movie to recommend, especially for people who don't watch movies that much. They might just be watching a movie for some entertainment, enjoyment. I can say that this film entertained me, but I don't think it's going to entertain a lot of casual viewers. The color palette in this movie is also something to talk about. I think the cinematography is very good, and I think that the yellow tint that covers this entire movie. It really is all yellow and brown and gray. It's mostly yellow though. It conveys this mood of almost being under a lens of something or seeing something through sunglasses. There's some stuff you could break down about the color palette used in this movie, but I feel like if I talked about it, I might give some stuff away. So overall, I feel like Enemy is a good movie to recommend for people who really like movies that break down a cerebral thing happening in a character's head. I enjoyed watching Jake Gyllenhaal's performance a lot. I feel like technically the movie was super well done and it successfully disturbed me, which I think is what the movie was trying to go for. I really only have some minor gripes with the technical aspects of the movie, and that's just that the pacing can be a little slower at times, and that the special effects have aged just a little bit. But you can't really help that, but it can be a little distracting, so I feel like I do have to take just a little bit off. But overall, it doesn't matter. The movie's very objectively well done. I think you'll easily be willing to overlook those very minor little gripes from an objective standpoint. But on a more personal level, I feel like this movie was cool for like a once through watch, but I don't think I'll be watching it again, even though it did get me to think a lot and talk a lot about the movie after I was done with it. It just didn't strike a personal chord with me. It didn't reach that higher echelon of movies that really made me feel something strong. But it did succeed in giving me that disturbing feeling that I think it was going for. I feel like if you're willing to think about the movie a lot, you'll get more out of it. But as like an entertainment watch, this movie is kind of slow burn, and you're going to have to pay attention to the movie in order to get a lot out of it. And that does not sound like it's for everyone. So, who is Enemy really for? I think if you're a fan of Denis Villeneuve's other movies, then you will enjoy some parts of this, and you'll enjoy how technically made it is, how well it disturbs the viewer at times and gets them to think about the portrayal and the conflicts that the characters are going through. But it's a very metaphorical watch, and for that reason, I don't think you could recommend this movie to most people. Just fresh off the bat, I watched this movie a couple days ago, and I don't even feel like it's one of my favorite Denis Villeneuve movies. I feel like I would rather rewatch Arrival, Blade Runner 2049, or Sicario, just because those have the entertainment value in spades. So I feel like if you have some other people that are interested in this sort of slow burn cerebral movie, then you can recommend it to them pretty wholeheartedly. But I think it's a very specific kind of viewer, and I think that you'll know who I'm talking about when I say people that enjoy a slow burn cerebral movie watch. So yeah, tell me what you thought of Enemy if you've seen it. Try to avoid spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen it and is interested in seeing it. What's your favorite Denis Villeneuve movie? And let me know in the comments. Let me know if you want me to post a review for any of them or anything that I haven't watched. Is there anything you would recommend? Yeah, leave a comment, leave a like, it helps out, and subscribe if you want to see some more movie reviews. I plan to do some more soon. See you later.